let's stop lying to ourselves. You aren't the bigger person. You aren't keeping the peace. You're just terrified. Every time someone talks over you, every time you laugh off an insult to avoid a scene, you aren't being polite. You are training them to treat you like a doormat. You are the architect of your own disrespect. You've spent your life building a reputation for being easy to work with, which is really just a polite way of saying you're easy to break. You come here looking for a magic trick to stop the shaking in your hands. But Machiavelli knew the truth 5 centuries ago. It is much safer to be feared than loved. Today, I am going to strip away that pathetic veneer of niceness and show you how to turn your presence into a wall of cold, unyielding stone. But be warned, once you learn the final law of the shadow mind, you can never go back to being the victim. 1. The silence of the grave. You believe that a confrontation is a game of tennis. You have been fed a steady diet of fast-talking protagonists and witty social media clapbacks, leading you to believe that the person who speaks the fastest, the loudest, or the most cleverly is the one in control. You think that when an insult is hurled your way, you must catch it and throw it back with double the force to save face. How is that working out for you? Look at the reality of your physiology in those moments. Your heart rate is a frantic drum against your ribs. Your breathing is shallow, coming from the top of your chest. Your voice thins out into a defensive, high-pitched tremor that betrays your desperation. By reacting instantly, you are leaking information like a cracked pipe. You are telling your opponent exactly where it hurts. Every word you utter in your defense is a gift to your adversary. You are providing them with the raw materials to build a cage around you. You think you're fighting? In reality, you are validating them. You are confirming that their words have the weight to move you, to shake you, and to dictate your internal state. You are a puppet dancing on a string, and they just found the handle. To be unshaken, you must become a void. You must master the silence of the grave. In the high-stakes theater of human conflict, silence is not the absence of power. It is the ultimate concentration of it. When someone attacks you, whether it's a blatant insult, a passive-aggressive remark, or a frantic demand, your first and most lethal move is to give them nothing. No flinch. No defensive will, actually. No nervous chuckle to break the tension. The strategy is the scientific gaze. When they finish their verbal assault, do not look into their eyes. That creates an emotional connection, a staring contest that reeks of effort. Instead, stare fixedly at the bridge of their nose, right between the eyes. To the human brain, this gaze is unnerving. It feels as though you are looking through them, analyzing them like a specimen under a microscope rather than a peer in a debate. Let the silence stretch. Most people are pathologically uncomfortable with conversational voids. They feel a desperate, biological urge to fill the dead air. When you refuse to fill it, their ego begins to cannibalize itself. They will start to over-explain their insult. They will backtrack. They will fidget with their phone or adjust their posture. By doing absolutely nothing, you have forced them to negotiate against themselves. You have turned their own momentum into a weapon that they are now tripping over. In the shadow mind, silence is the information black hole. When you don't speak, your opponent has no data. They don't know if you're angry, bored, or plotting their total social destruction. This uncertainty breeds a specific, cold kind of fear. You aren't winning the argument. You are rising above the level where an argument is even possible. You are signaling that the most powerful verbal weapon didn't even register as a threat. 2. The Mirage of Mercy. You believe that mercy is a sign of strength. You've been told that forgiving and forgetting is the path of the noble, and that by showing compassion to those who cross you, you are winning them over. You tell yourself that by taking the high road, you are proving your moral superiority. In reality, you are just masking your fear of conflict with a cloak of virtue. When you show mercy to someone who has blatantly disrespected or undermined you, they don't see a saint. They see a mark. They see someone who lacks the stomach to enforce their own boundaries. You think you're building a bridge? You're actually building a gallows for your own authority. Every time you accept a half-hearted apology or let it slide for the sake of the relationship, you are lowering the price of admission for people to hurt you. You are teaching the world that crossing you comes with no real cost. You aren't being Christ-like, you're being a doormat with an ego. In the cold calculus of the shadow mind, mercy is not a moral act, it is a tactical error. To stay unshaken in a confrontation, you must adopt the Mirage of Mercy. This doesn't mean you become a screaming tyrant. It means you become a wall of ice. When a confrontation reaches the point where your authority or character has been attacked, you do not aim for a middle ground. There is no win-win when someone attempts to take your legs out from under you. Your response must be final. The strategy is simple. Deny them the release. When someone realizes they've overstepped, they will often try to make nice to alleviate their own social anxiety. They will offer a flippant apology or try to use humor to diffuse the tension. Do not join them. Do not smile. Do not say, "It's okay." Instead, look at them with total emotional detachment and say, "I heard what you said. I'm interested in why you thought that was an appropriate thing to say in this setting." By refusing to grant them the mercy of social comfort, you keep the pressure on them. You keep the blade hovering. You make it clear that while you aren't going to roll around in the mud with them, the injury has been recorded and the debt has not been settled. You want them to leave the interaction feeling a lingering, low-level dread. A wounded enemy is a vengeful enemy. An enemy who is kept in a state of perpetual uncertainty regarding your next move is a paralyzed enemy. You don't need their love. You need their hesitation. 3. Weaponized unpredictability. You are a creature of habit, and that makes you a target. You pride yourself on being consistent, reliable, and principled. In your mind, these are virtues. In the realm of power and psychological warfare, these are simply markers on a map that tell your enemies exactly where to strike. The people in your life, your boss, your manipulative colleague, even your family, have developed a mental user manual for you. They know which button triggers your guilt. They know which tone of voice makes you stutter and retreat into a defensive shell. They know that if they push you, you will respond with a predictable sequence. Shock, explanation, apology, and eventually, submission. When you enter a confrontation, you aren't actually participating. You are playing a role in a script they've already written. Because you are predictable, you are safe. And because you are safe, you are disrespected. Humans do not fear what they can calculate. They only fear what they cannot understand. By being the reliable person who always plays by the rules of social etiquette, you have effectively neutralized yourself. You have made it easy for them to walk over you because they already know exactly how you will move out of the way. To stay unshaken, you must shatter the script. You must become a glitch in their social matrix. This is weaponized unpredictability. The goal is to introduce a level of cognitive dissonance so high that your opponent's brain momentarily freezes, forcing them to abandon their attack and enter a defensive, reactive state. In the shadow mind, we use the pattern interrupt. If someone attacks you with fire, do not give them water. Give them a vacuum. If a colleague insults your performance in front of a group, the predictable move is to defend your metrics. The unpredictable move, the Machiavellian move, is to lean in, look at them with a strange, knowing smile, and say, "I've been noticing your obsession with my work lately. It's flattering. But are you doing okay? You seem agitated." By shifting the focus from the content of the argument to the state of the attacker, you flip the power dynamic. You are no longer the defendant. You are the observer. You have broken the rhythm of the conflict. Unpredictability also means mastering the art of the ambiguity. When someone is trying to corner you with logic or guilt, and answer with something completely unrelated but delivered with absolute gravity. If they are screaming about a missed deadline, wait for them to finish. Look them in the eye and ask, "Do you actually believe what you're saying, or are you just tired?" Then walk away. This creates a psychological fog. When people cannot predict your reaction, they become hesitant. They begin to censor themselves around you, not out of love, but out of a fear of the unknown. You become a black box, a variable that cannot be solved. Machiavelli knew that the fox survives not because he is the strongest, but because the hounds can never be sure which way he will turn. For the sovereign posture, you believe that your words are the primary vehicle of your power. You spend hours in front of the mirror rehearsing the perfect thing to say, polishing your retorts and sharpening your logic. But while you are meticulously crafting your script, your body is a snitch. It is whispering the truth of your insecurity to everyone in the room before you even finish your first sentence. Look at yourself in a moment of tension. You likely commit the safety huddle. Your shoulders round forward to protect your vital organs, a primitive instinct to make yourself a smaller target. You fidget with your ring. You touch your neck protecting the carotid artery, or you shift your weight from foot to foot like a child waiting for a scolding. These are pacifying behaviors. Biological signals that you are under stress and seeking comfort. You think you're being approachable or polite. The predator across from you, the person trying to dominate the confrontation, sees a wounded animal. Humans are essentially primates in expensive suits. Our brains are hardwired to scan for status and threat levels within milliseconds. If your physiology screams prey, no amount of Machiavellian logic will save you. You are losing the battle through your pores because you have surrendered the physical space before the verbal one. To remain unshaken, you must adopt the sovereign posture. This isn't about alpha posturing, puffing your chest, or aggressive staring. Those are the marks of an amateur who is trying too hard. True sovereignty is found in the economy of movement and the absolute occupation of space. A king does not rush. Only the servant is in a hurry. The first pillar of the sovereign posture is stillness. In a confrontation, the person who moves the most is the person with the least power. When challenged, do not adjust your seat. Do not tilt your head in a submissive listening gesture. Keep your hands visible and heavy. Imagine your limbs are made of lead. When you are still, you signal that the other person's energy is not enough to move you. You become the immovable object. The second pillar is the relaxed gaze. Most people either look away when they feel social pressure, submission, or stare intensely with wide eyes, aggression, fear. The sovereign gaze is different. You look at the person as if they are a moderately interesting piece of furniture. Keep your eyelids slightly heavy. This signals that you do not perceive them as a threat worthy of your full, wide-eyed attention. Finally, you must master the cadence of command. Speak from your diaphragm, not your throat. When you feel the urge to speak quickly to get your point out before being interrupted, do the opposite. Slow down. Claim the silence. By speaking slowly and taking long pauses, you are subconsciously signaling that you have no fear of being interrupted. You are claiming the most valuable resource in the room: time. You are forcing the other person to sync to your biological rhythm. You aren't just in the room. You own the air inside it. Stop being a spectator in the theater of your own life. The world doesn't need more nice guys. It needs men with the shadow and the steel to lead. If you're ready to stop being the architect of your own disrespect, subscribe to the Shadow Mind Lab. Join the inner circle before the gates close. Now, for the final, most dangerous lesson. 5. The Guillotine of Truth. You have a desperate, sweating need to be understood. It is your greatest vulnerability. When someone accuses you, corners you, or twists your words, your hardwired instinct is to provide context. You say, "That's not what I meant." Or if you just look at it from my perspective. Stop. Look at yourself. In that moment, you are a defendant, pleading for a fair trial in a kangaroo court. You believe in the naive fairy tale that the truth will set you free. But in the arena of confrontation, your truth is just a weapon you have handed to your enemy so they can sharpen it. By explaining yourself, you are submitting to their jurisdiction. You are acknowledging that they have the right to judge you, and you are begging for an acquittal. You aren't seeking clarity. You are seeking permission to exist. This is the ultimate form of psychological submission. When you explain, you are reacting. When you react, you are following. And when you follow, you have already lost the crown. Most people use honesty as a shield because they are too weak to use it as a sword. They hope that if they are transparent enough, the other person will stop hurting them. But in the shadow mind, we know the truth. Transparency just makes it easier for the enemy to see where to strike. The final law is the Guillotine of Truth. It is the most dangerous tool in the Machiavellian arsenal, because it requires you to murder your own ego. You must stop trying to win the argument and start trying to end the game. The guillotine is the act of total narrative refusal. You do not explain, you do not litigate the past. You do not defend your character. Instead, you identify the single, most uncomfortable, unspoken reality of the current moment, and you drop it like a blade. You strip away the content of the argument and expose the raw, ugly power struggle underneath. When an opponent is spiraling, shouting, or trying to gaslight you with a complex web of lies, You don't chase them down the rabbit hole. You stand at the top and look down. You narrate their behavior with the cold, clinical detachment of a surgeon. If they're attacking your character to avoid a mistake they made, you don't defend your character. You drop the blade. You're getting loud and emotional because you know your position is logically indefensible. We can continue this when you've regained your composure. If they are trying to manipulate you through guilt, you say, I see that you re-attempting to use my empathy to bypass the facts of this contract. It isn't working. What is your next move? This is the guillotine. It cuts through the drama and exposes the skeleton of the interaction. By naming the tactic they are using, you render it useless. You have become the referee who just called a foul on the person who thought they were the star player. It is surgical, and it is final. There is no comeback for the truth when it is delivered without a shred of anger. Anger is a leak. It shows you are still affected. Indifference, however, is the ultimate power. When you use the guillotine, you aren't just winning a confrontation. You are ending the opponent's ability to ever confront you again. You now possess the blueprints. You have been given the keys to a kingdom most people are too terrified to even acknowledge exists. But let's be honest, most of you will do absolutely nothing with this. You'll close this tab, feel a momentary surge of alpha adrenaline, and then tomorrow morning, when your boss snaps at you or your partner tests your boundaries, you'll slip right back into that comfortable, skin-crawling habit of being nice. You'll smile, you'll stutter, and you'll let the shadow of your potential die in the light of your cowardice. You will choose the safety of the herd over the solitude of the sovereign. Why? Because staying unshaken is lonely. When you master the silence of the grave, they will call you cold. When you stop explaining your life through the guillotine of truth, they will call you arrogant. When you adopt the sovereign posture, they will hate you not because you've done something wrong, but because you are a living mirror reflecting their own lack of discipline. Machiavelli didn't write for the masses. He didn't write to be liked by the commoners. He wrote for the prince, and the prince knows that the weight of the crown is infinitely better than the collar of the slave. You have a choice to make before the screen goes dark. You can go back to being the architect of your own disrespect, or you can step into the lab and start rebuilding your mind from the bone up. If you think you're ready to stop being the victim in your own story, then join the inner circle. Subscribe to the Shadow Mind Lab. We aren't here to make you feel better. We're here to make you powerful. Or don't. The world always needs more nice guys to clear the path for those of us who actually intend to lead.